Alright, today we're doing the rear drum brakes on this 2000 Ford Ranger. You can see I've got both wheels up off the ground. I've got the whole vehicle supported by jack stands. So, looks like we're ready to go. Let's get started. Alright, you can see I have everything I need here. All provided by Centric and autopartswarehouse.com. I've got a drum. I've got the brake shoes themselves. I've got a wheel cylinder here. And I've got a spring kit, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so your first challenge might be getting this drum off, and you can see by my hands I have already done one side, and I had to fight with it. Some of the footage might end up in an outtake video because I ended up having to grind the pins off in the back. The star adjuster was seized up. I had to use heat to get it free. So this one is off. And I'm going to show you how to replace all these parts, okay? When I mentioned the star adjuster, I'm talking about this expansion bolt here. Basically, there's an access port in the back, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you that right here. And you need to use a screwdriver, or a couple of screwdrivers really, or you could use a brake adjustment spoon. You'll need to push this one off with one screwdriver, and then spin this star adjuster with the spoon or another screwdriver, and you're basically going to adjust the brake shoes so they come in. That's going to allow you to get the drum off. In the case of the other side, this was seized up, and I ended up having to cut the pins off, which are here, and I cut them off in the back using a Dremel tool. So I didn't want to go through that with you guys here today, but let's move forward. Okay, so one of the first things we need to do is remove these pins, and they're spring loaded. There's a cap and a spring in behind it. I use vice grips. They do have a tool for it. Basically, you can push it in, reach around the back, and then try to spin it with your fingers to get it off, or spin the cap like I just did. But you want to hold the pin in the back to make sure that doesn't spin with it. Okay, and you want to remove both. Alright, next I'm going to remove these two top springs, and for this I am going to use a brake tool. Actually, I'm going to use this end here of these brake spring pliers, and I've done it for many years with screwdrivers, and I can tell you that after buying the tool I always question why I didn't do it sooner. So let's go ahead and take these off here. Okay, the way they work is they have a little notch here. You pop this over the pin, and it grabs the spring, hopefully. Okay, and then we're going to do it to the other side here. And sometimes you do need a screwdriver to pry that off. And it's not grabbing it. I'm grabbing that brake adjustment at the same time, which I don't really want to do. Okay, so this will come off as well when we loosen up the rest of the brakes. Okay, with drum brakes, it's important to kind of take note of where everything is. I mean, unless you can get the other side off and use that for reference. You know, this has got a cable running up and around, and this little piece here sets in. I just did the other side, so I kind of know where it goes. You want to just pay attention to all the little bits and pieces and see how they fit in. The adjustment is down here, and when we pull that apart, you'll see that that could easily fall out of place. Okay, there's one more spring we need to get, and it runs between the two shoes. It's right in behind here. So let me go ahead and get that for you. So I'm just going to try to spread these apart here. Okay, so the shoes are out. We do have a little retaining clip here that I've got to pry off with a screwdriver or something. The other side I use pliers. Alright, so what I like to try to do is lay it on the floor, sort of the way it came out, until I'm ready to put it back together. I'll bring the new shoes in. Next thing we're going to do is replace this wheel cylinder up here, right here. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is try to break this brake line loose. I've got a tubing wrench, which is ideally what you want to use, is a tubing wrench. So grab some more sides. Alright, so that didn't quite go as planned, but I've got a 13mm here. I'm going to remove these two bolts for the wheel cylinder. And I'm going to have to put a new end on my brake line because I did get it out, but it's rounded off pretty good. So I've got a double flaring tool, so I'll hit that in the morning and then bleed it. Alright, so that wheel cylinder should pop right out of here. And you can see I pretty much trashed it. So, alright, let's put the new one on here. Alright, here's a brand new one here. I'm going to leave that plug in until I get the hydraulics hooked back up. And again, these were 13mm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a couple of different parts on this video, so it's not too long. Hopefully this video here has been helpful. This is basically removing the drum and the brake shoes, and we're installing the slave cylinder, or the wheel cylinder. So leave questions and comments below. I'm going to link to the other video, the next video, where I'm going to install the brake shoes right here. Thanks for watching. Leave questions and comments below.